As the saying goes, that sport unites all. Well, very soon right now, Nigerian youth will be gathering in University of Unilorin to at least compete at the National Youth Games that will be coming up there. A good one coming from the federal government, finally getting this competition coming up. You are welcome on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. We'll be looking at that story as the first story we'll be taking right now. University of Unilorin to host 7th National Youth Games for the 6th time. Since 2016, they've been the one hosting this competition, bringing together all Nigerian youth in all the sporting activities they've been competing, be it in athletics, hockey, different sports. But right now, University of Unilorin is the place to be as they will be hosting this competition in December. Well, December 7 to 17, that's when that competition will be coming up, and they will be making sure all the youth in Nigeria have that opportunity, that platform or template to showcase their skills. This is the place to be when it comes to youth games where talents are really discovered. I have in the studio Ayo Adams. Good to have you.
Always, Mr. Nee.
Good one. Let's talk about this. We have to talk about Nigerian sports. That's our yardstick to always make sure we promote our own. Like I always say, if we don't, no one else will do it. So right now, let's start with Nigerian story. Well, National Youth Games, we have that. We also have National Sports Festival. But the Youth Games right now, this year, will be coming up in Unilorin again. Although they've been the one doing it for the past 4 or 5 times now in a row consecutively. They'll be hosting it again. And the youth can't wait to converge in Unilorin at the University of Unilorin, where that's the venue they normally use, at least a good one coming from University of Unilorin, always available there, where the youth will actually gather to showcase their talent in this sport. From 18, we have even there are some that are 12, 11, that are 12, that are 14, 15, and they are there to showcase that, yes, we are here to compete. If you cannot make it to National Sports Festival, but this is our own platform, we can compete.
Yeah, I wish I was still in my early days.
So you can go back.
Let's go back and I'll put in some laps.
You take some magic and turn to under 12.
Well, yeah, it's really great to see, honestly. Like I've always, like you also mentioned, if we don't promote it, I've always also had that mentality of, if we do not, we are a home of raw talent, raw young talent across multiple sports. And it's just graceful that there's now a platform that you're seeing these young people wanting. This, I mean, it's not just to be able to compete for sports alone. It's also for economic growth. There's a ripple effect when you engage youths. It takes them away from illicit activities, illicit immoral activities that they've been indulging in these days. And a lot of them is because when they don't see the avenue to showcase whatever God-given talent, I mean, it's easy to just push them away into social vices, and there are a lot of them, and it's so enticing these days. And I mean, having this opportunity for them to go and compete, largely knowing that the credibility of the competition is also there, and the fact that the fact that they also have to network. Basically, when you're going there, you know that you're not going home alone. You're going home in memories.
Yes.
You're going home in meeting your
also medals.
Yeah, medals and athletes and whatever it is that they have to offer. One thing I'd appeal to the federal government and the organizers is the fact that the take-home prizes should at least go up, increase, and make sure that these kids get what they are deserved, because in some cases we've also heard of people not getting what they're supposed to get on time and all these things. We know but we don't want that anymore. Let these young boys be looking forward to these competitions every single time it's coming up. They can't wait. They prepare for it. And in platforms such as this, to be able to discuss these things with these young kids, and also let them build media optics around these children. Let the competition not just start in Unilorin and end there. What's the aftermath? Are they creating an avenue for them to show the highlights? Yeah, exactly. I mean, put them on the world map. If you found the remarkable, brilliant, genius young talents from there, extract them and start to build on them. And you understand, start to groom them, give them the mentality of being a professional right from the onset, so they understand what to eat, what not to eat, what to do and what not to do, how to sleep, those grooming. Just don't leave them there that, okay, they finished, they've won, oh yeah, now come back next and do it again. That's not how you groom athletes. And we see the worlds where in athletics events where we see countries zapping up all the medals, it's because they've been properly groomed from age 1 to whatever age that they go. So it's remarkable for this to happen. I mean, let's laud the federal government for this. It's amazing that they're letting it happen. And then the host states, Kwara and Ilorin too, you have to laud their sports commissioner, you have to laud their executives in sport, their governor too, because it's a great initiative. And the fact that they're consistent with it, I mean, kudos to them. And I wish all the young boys going out there, I mean, I'm saying it to them, if I was you, I'm coming for some medals. But I mean, good luck to them in their endeavors. Good luck.
Good one there. Aside the fact that the athletes will be competing to get medals and also get rewarded, to let you know economic side of it, Kwara, at least Ilorin, will be getting some businesses here and there as the athletes zoom into the state. A lot of things will change and more money will actually exchange hands. Good one there, looking at the National Youth Games where the youths always converge to compete in different honors when it comes to sport. National Sports Festival will be coming up in Delta State, besides in Asaba also this year. So we have two big events still coming up before the year ends. National Youth Games in Ilorin, National Sports Festival in Asaba. Well, we're bringing you more of this as the competition will be rolling in. Let's talk about a footballer, this time around a goalkeeper. Recently, news came out that he signed with Sekukune of South Africa, but right now, just yesterday, that club denied that particular deal, seeing the light of the day. And right now, the same goalkeeper is now training with Moroka Swallows. Moroka Swallows are having goalkeeper Daniel Akpeyi training with them, and hopefully, maybe he could be able to sign a deal with Moroka Swallows.
I mean, Daniel has been a really good goalkeeper for the longest that I've known him for, even during his feat at Kaizer Chiefs in South Africa. But I mean, there's just so many backstories that we don't get to hear about players and dealings and transfers, especially transfers. There's so many backstories that a lot of people don't know about transfers and what happened. It might just be the littlest of detail.
Yes,
that might
it's not as if they didn't want to sign him.
It might just be the littlest.
Maybe time and condition, time of the contract.
Exactly.
How much are you going to pay me? Okay, am I safe here? What are we giving you? A lot of things.
A lot of rudiments. And then contracts these days in football, as they're quite modified now as opposed to before. Before, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, it's just play, get paid, and go and play. But these days, players want terms. Players want to know how long they're going to play, how many minutes they're getting in a single game, total duration for a single season. What is my
Aside that, what about deals?
Do I have deals? Do I have bonuses? Are there publicity for me? Do I get to have my personal clips? Do I get to have my own personal sessions? Do you understand?
Am I going to have my boots, have the crested?
Yeah.
Am I going to have my jersey with my... A lot of things.
There's so many demands from players these days, and which is rightly so, because, I mean, the modern football now we were seeing these days is more financially inclined. But, I mean, it's great to see that there's a team he's training with. That shows that, okay, there's still more interest. And he's not a bad goalkeeper at all. He will, when given the chance, he will deliver. I believe that in Daniel.
Let's at least been talking concerning Daniel Akpeyi in South Africa. He has been there with Kaizer Chiefs and all that teams, but right now he's training with Moroka Swallows, and hopefully that deal will actually see the light of the day for the goalkeeper to get his career back on track. We've been talking football, and earlier on we talked about Nigerian, that is National Youth Games that will be coming up in Ilorin, Kwara State. Let's go international. We talk about UEFA Women's result in the morning. Now we'll be looking at fixtures for tonight in UEFA Women's Champions League. Right now we have international the friendlies are taking place different places, but for the women, they'll be playing football where SFK 2000 women, they are from Sarajevo in Bosnia-Herzegovina. They'll be playing against Zurich women. Corps women from Finland will be hosting Austrian team. St. Pölten women, Brann from Norway against Rosengård of Sweden, while Rosenborg of Norway will be playing against Real Madrid Femenico just from Spain. Wisła Zaitlubo 2, that's from Ukraine. The two teams are joined together. They'll be facing Vlasnia Femra from Albania. You have Sparta Prague from Czech Republic against Roma Feminine of Italy. Slavia Prague also from Czech Republic now against Valor Women of Iceland. PSG Feminines against BK Häcken of Sweden. Well, looking at this, Ayo, you look at an Iceland team. making the Women Champions League, and they'll be playing tonight. That's a big one, Valor Women. And you look at that English word, I say men of Valor, men of so Valor Women.
Yeah.
Well, they will show a lot of strength against Slavia Prague from Czech Republic. They have to be very strong to defeat Valor Women.
I mean, the very first thing that when you get to play in such competitions is you take it in. You know, the atmosphere. The fact that I'm going to be watched by thousands and millions of people around the world, that is the first thing there. But then let it not get overwhelming, because I mean there are more experienced teams in the competition, and it's some of these teams here, it's their first time out coming into play in the UEFA Women's Champions League. I will really show pity to the teams who are going to be playing PSG Feminine and the Real Madrid Feminine, because those are formidable opponents that they are coming up against. But I mean, at the end of the day, we see who is ready to progress into the next round.
So to be candid, like you mentioned, BK Häcken women from Sweden will have to tighten their belt a lot for them to play against PSG, who we know alongside Lyon in France. Those two teams are fantastic.
Really good teams.
And you look at Spain, Barcelona, they are also very fantastic. Although this is the qualifying series, but really you have Real Madrid, although they are new, but you always know that
anything Real Madrid,
anything Real Madrid, they too, they want to go for it against Rosenborg women. Although the team from Norway, they know how to play football a lot. Norwegians are very good when it comes to women football. Brand from Norway, Rosengard from Sweden. So two teams from Sweden, Rosengard and also BK Häcken, and you have Brand women and also Rosenborg from Norway. You have some teams coming from like Albania, Iceland, like Vlasnia Femra is from Albania. We know you can actually look at them, okay, maybe against Vosla Zaitlobod of Ukraine. Because of the war, the two teams have to come together, they're playing, and you have another team, Kops for Finland. Kops, they're from Finland, they're playing against Austrian team, St. Polten, another big one there. FK 2000, what a name. Remind me of one movie, Equalizer 2000. So SFK 2000 from Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. They'll be playing against Zurich women of Switzerland. If you want to look at it like people say on paper or on leave, you look at Zurich, would they have at least a feel of the day against SFK 2000?
Well, in Switzerland, there's really good football there in Switzerland. And Switzerland, Austria, and Norway. They've been places where I know the Rosengard women,
Sweden,
Sweden. I've followed their football a couple of times. They actually know how to play football there, and they are physical women there who very strong. Physical. So I mean, every other team who's coming against any team from those part of the world, you need to get your horses ready, because it's not going to be an easy feat to do. But I mean, it's an opportunity to qualify round. You're allowed multiple chances.
I would love to see the team from Albania and Iceland. I don't know. I'm kind of attached to the two. They have Bosnia, Femra, and the Valor women. Either Valor or Valor, which way do you call it? But really, Iceland, I think the player that makes Iceland very popular, Idor Johnson, who played for Chelsea, although his son is playing right now, that player really made Iceland, wow, Iceland, wow. But really, you have Iceland, you have Albania. We know economically Albania, among the European nations, they are really back, but they will be playing tonight, and I want to see what they will be showcasing. I guess I don't know, kind of attached to see what will be happening with the Iceland team and also the Albanian team.
Yeah, I mean, it's their time. It's their time in the sunlight. Shine.
They should just go there and shine, giving you UEFA Champions League for women. Fixtures for tonight. Those matches will be coming up, and we'll be bringing you the result as they actually go down in different stadia in Europe from UEFA Champions League for women. Now, let's talk about some football stories where Barcelona, the Blaugranas, as they call them, they are considering Wolves' Ruben Neves and also Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad as Sergio Busquets' replacement. Busquets has really paid his deal with Barcelona, and it's high time the Spanish actually leaves. But right now, they are considering two players, Ruben Neves and also Martin Zubimendi. The two of them, one from Wolves in England, another one from Real Sociedad, who could take over the place of Sergio.
First thing, we have to give all the accolades to Sergio Busquets. I mean, he's been a powerhouse for both Barcelona and for both the Spanish national team. in their history of dominance, you can't leave out Sergio Busquets. He's been that untouchable figure in the middle of the park. He's almost invincible, but quite visible.
Yeah. With his physique.
With his physique.
With a crouch physique.
Yeah. Ability to turn. You can't. They call him in La Liga the man you can't press, because he would always evade.
Very slick.
He's very slick. He's very smooth, and he will always evade any challenge coming across him. But like you said, there is always time for stars to shine, and Busquets has paid his dues, rightfully so. Maybe the accolades, individual accolades, have not reflected it, but the general accolades have reflected it, and there is nobody who really understands football to a level that will say that Sergio Busquets is not one of the best in his generation. But time and chance come, and new emergence of talents come to show. Zubimendi has been one that in La Liga has been spoken about repeatedly, about how good he is in his position, being able to handle the ball, his physicality, his passing ability, tackling ability. Neves also, I mean, almost the same thing.
Player.
The difference with Neves is the fact that he has an ability to hit long-range shots and actually put them at the back of the net. He would not. Both of them would not be bad options to put in that position for Sergio Busquets. But I would wonder why Frankie De Jong, who is already there, isn't considered as the replacement.
Actually, they wanted him out. They wanted him out, and that didn't work out because of the fact that the guy refused to go. And they just have to make do with that. Okay, we have said you stay, but you have to drop your wages.
And he did.
That was done. And I'm sure Barcelona were not too happy.
That he
were
stayed.
not too happy that he stayed. Really?
Well, economically, they were not happy that he stayed, because that was a large amount of money they were going to get from selling him, and then the wages that was going to go out. But he is adamant to wanting to stay at the Camp Nou was because he wanted to play in the Camp Nou. He wanted to play in Barcelona.
That's his dream team.
That's his dream team. And the season they bought him for the sole replacement of Sergio Busquets at the time. The moment Sergio Busquets saw him come in, he just stepped up his game. It's just almost the same thing that
he hung his boot, he picked it up.
Almost the same thing that happened with Modric and Valverde in Real Madrid. The moment they bought Valverde and said, okay, it's come, Modric just picked up, and since then he hasn't dropped the baton of the horse. And same thing is happening with Busquets too. But with Frankie De Jong, I just think that he wants to stay, and he's showing the ability to want to stay. But I mean, Xavi now has a large team. He should be winning something this season. And for the fact that you have multiple players to pick from in that middle of the park, I mean, yeah, he's so blessed in the middle of the park.
Maybe the way he actually blessed Barcelona, when himself and Iniesta were there, we saw what really happened.
He wants to create that
so that
again.
particular style, that niche of, this is Barcelona tiki-taka style.
Yes.
Let's do it again. Let's bring it back. Last season or past season, they actually lost it. But now it's coming back. Little by little, they are finding their style. They are getting back to the style of, this is Barcelona playing. Immediately you're watching, this is Barcelona.
The glory days are almost back.
Seriously, but for Frankie De Jong and Neves, Zubimendi, well, we wait to see who will be coming.
If I would want to pick, I would want them to go for Zubimendi, because, I mean, first thing,
he's in La Liga.
He's in La Liga. Secondly, he's a young player, and he understands the terrain of the game. But then the extra addition that Neves is bringing is that long-range shot.
The long-range shot can actually go a long way. But Barcelona,
we don't play that style, honestly.
Don't play that style.
And we already have a marksman in the front of the goal.
So that style should actually suit Liverpool.
So, yeah, I mean...
Liverpool should go for Neves.
Well, let's see what they will do in January.
Let's see what they will do in January, talking about Barcelona going for 2 players in place to replace Sergio Busquets, who actually pays his due with Barcelona. He has been there alongside the likes of Piqué. Piqué too, right now, his playing time will be reducing according to Xavi, but those guys have really paid their dues. They deserve whatever they are getting from Barcelona. Let's look at this particular one that has to do with Everton midfielder Alan to join United Arab Emirates club Al Wahda. Al Wahda right now, they've been in talks, and the next step for the very short time now, he will be moving to join them in that's UAE, the way we call Dubai here. But really, Al Wahda has been the club that has been running after Alan. And Brazilians, they don't mind anywhere. So far, it suits they will go there and they make their money and they deliver. Well,
with Brazilians, in recent times, we've seen a lot of talent from Brazil. They start, they shine, and then they just the glimmer just goes off. I mean,
especially with Manchester United, that's not really gone well.
Especially with some of them. I mean, they've bought a lot of Brazilians, and they've not really come up to the plate for them. But we are seeing new Brazilians stepping into the light. I mean, the likes of Vinicius and Anthony and Richarlison and Rafinha. I mean, they are bringing back those old days, and Rodrigo showing people that, okay, look, the Joga Bonito is back in play and in style. But like you mentioned, some of them, when they get the opportunity to leave and pursue a bigger fund, a bigger wage, more playing time,
they will just
move. But there's just been one thing, that significant thing has always been around amongst all of them. The clubs they've been playing with before had never been a problem. It's always wanting to step into the Premier League light and try to shine more, and then it doesn't happen, and all of a sudden they find themselves going to other leagues that are not European. But at the end of the day, look, when the Oscar deal happened to China, he mentioned that financially they needed money. We've seen a lot of footballers crash out after they end their football careers, they are broke. So some of them, I mean, it's more like a retirement plan for some of them. Look, if you go to these clubs who are willing to pay ×2, ×3 our wages that we're getting in a club that's in a big league but earning less, they wouldn't mind. I mean, having your salary tripled in UAE is something that, I mean, if you look, they're all family men, they have children. After football, what next? And that's what some of them are looking at. After football, what do we have? And I mean, when Alan came into Everton, he was not even supposed to go to Everton. He had other options that were pursuing him for.
He was a really big guy in Napoli.
He was a big player for Napoli. So, but then that's it. When the player's eyes are set on a bigger transfer, a bigger wage, and then the English media, I mean, so to say,
the hype and all.
The hype and all. But then there's just one thing, it's a curse and a blessing. If you get there, you shine, you shine. If you do not, they will heavily criticize you, and you find yourself in such positions.
And now he's going to be moving to UAE to play. I'm sure it has to do with the fund.
Yeah, you'll most definitely find his way back. I mean, if you look at James Rodriguez, when he also came, he was a little bit of a glimpse of light. Then he went out, but then he's back at Olympiacos. So let's see, maybe Haaland just wants to use that route to come back.
Make some money,
and then come back. Because we see a lot of them come back.
I love the fact that the likes of, what's his name now, who was formerly with Arsenal, Chelsea, Willian is back in Premier League.
They always find their way back.
He went back home, play a season. In fact, he was like, okay, no, I'm coming back. And now Fulham they were still able to get him. Look at Marcelo. Marcelo, all his years with Real Madrid, now he has gone to Olympiacos. Although he went back home to say, okay, can I get a club here? No, let me stay and play. And now he's back to Olympiacos, and we are going to be seeing him. Those guys really have shown like million stars for their clubs when it comes to football. Brazilians are outstanding. They are coming back with that era of Ronaldo de Lima and the likes of Roberto Carlos. They are coming back again. Vinicius Junior, Valverde, all of them, Rodrigo, they are showing their class, and just have to give it up to the Brazilian players. Now we'll look at another one that has to do with Juventus. Juventus hierarchy to hold meeting on Friday about manager Massimiliano Allegri. Well, 7 matches, 2 wins for Allegri, who has won everything for them. Where did he go wrong?
Sometimes no second coming.
So don't just go back.
Don't just go back. Sometimes no second coming. He's had a remarkable time with them, won multiple trophies, taking them to Champions League finals. Well, not won any of them, but there was no reason to bring Allegri back, because there was a reason why Allegri left. There was a reason why Allegri left. And when Allegri was supposed to come back, it was the fact that, okay, the players that still reside in Juventus are some of the players he brought in, the likes of Paulo Dybala and every other player. So eventually when that happened, when Ronaldo left, the Juventus felt like there was a void that needed to be filled back. The void was not to be filled by players. It was a coach who needed to, okay, they looked back at their history and said, okay, who was that person that gave us that solidity? And that was Allegri. It was a very stern coach. But there's one thing about Allegri: he's not flexible. He's a rigid coach. He's rigid, and he doesn't understand. I think he's almost like the Mourinho that did not understand that football had evolved before Mourinho now eventually got back to the program. The style of football he's playing now is not it. We have Juventus with young stars, Vlahovic, Malkenny, a lot of young players in there, and Rabiot. And for some reason, and it's not even because Juventus are losing, it's because they are losing poorly. Really poor. Against teams Monza, who had not won a single game this season and eventually had to win that game. And it's just they've been scrapping they've been scrapping by the points. You have a Vlahovic there. For some reason, he's not getting goals as opposed to how he was getting when they bought him in January last season. And this is supposed to be a team where you brought in a playmaker such as Di Maria. Now you're going for tired legs. I would not, in the transfer window, I expected him to go for vibrant legs. He's brought in a Pogba who was a liability for a team, same as Di Maria who just left. But I think for me, Nedved has been pushing for it, and I think I'll back him. Allegri out. I mean,
Pavel Nedved is star when he was playing right now. They are pushing. They'll be having a meeting to see what they'll be discussing concerning Massimiliano Allegri. Will he be staying or not? That will be it on 360 Sports. I've been with Ayo Adams. Thank you very much.
Always.
I am Madeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.